Hey guys, this is Peter, and today I'm taking a look at the WaveForm 4x4 MIMO. This is the full-size one. It is the replacement for the Legacy, and the Legacy was, well, so it is at $249. This is, well, is that right? The Legacy kit is $199. Okay, Legacy kit was $199 now, and it does have Type N connectors. However, this one, updated for 2024, is the new one, and this one is $249 antenna only, and it does have a kit as well. It's at $299 and totally worth it. Has a lot of great stuff on it. But before I go and put it on the roof, and I'm going to be able to put it side by side to the predecessor, I did want to show you some of the advancements that came along in this, because it is pretty cool. So they now have a new look to it. Well, this part looks the same, the front of it. However, the back of it, it's now fully enclosed in plastic. And look at this connector. Notice that red wire. That's a ground strap. So many people were asking, hey, I got to get this thing to ground because there's lightning in their area. Well, not so much in my area, but there it is. You've got a ground, and now you will be grounded to the post that you're on. You got to make sure to put it ground there. Now, one of my kids brought up and said, hey, Dad, that's never going to carry the current that comes in lightning. But all that ground strap is for is to take the charge off of the unit, because it's a charge, a built-up charge that attracts the lightning strikes. So all you got to do is ground the pole that you're going to put it on. And it also has, well, some new connectors. Instead of being Type N connectors, these are small SMA connectors. So that's really cool, because that's what my radio has on it. I'll be able to go SMA to SMA. It comes with a 20-foot cable. I'm going to use a 20 and a 10 together, so I get 30 feet right next to 30 feet. And we're going to run some tests on these and see what it's like. I do want to point out some things that I really liked about this. When you look at this connector, look at it closely. They have some extra holes. I can position this upside down, to the left, to the right, and every, well, permutation there in between. I guess I can get different angles on it. I can also adjust this piece, this neck. That's rather nice. And the tools to make this all work, they gave me everything. Because at first I was thinking, wow, that's recessed. I'm going to have a hard time tightening that. Not so. They gave you a nice quality tool to make that work. For this, they gave you a nice Allen wrench, the kind with the ball joint on the end. I do like that. And for this, I do notice this. These are all square connectors, so I can mount it horizontally, vertically, upside down, and every way in between. But these are also recessed, if I can show you that. And look at this. The wrench fits right in there. That is, well, you can't see it, but that is a beautiful fit. And the radius on these plastic pieces matches the wrench. Too perfect. I really like this. Good looking. I'm going to put it up right next to my other antenna. I'm going to run a similar cable. Both are going to come into the garage. I'm going to hook them to the same radio, and we're going to see. We should get some pretty similar results. The only difference is one's going to be one cable length, and this new one's going to be two cable lengths. Don't think it'll matter much. Let's take a quick look, see what we get. All right, well, let's get going. So the neat part is these SMA cables are now really easy to undo. See, I just pull this back, and look, there's the connector. Just remove it like that. I'm going to be able to tie into this cable really easy. 1, 2, and then even these zip ties that are on this one. This is the mini 4x4 MIMO. Had some excellent performance on it. But it's omnidirectional, which is awesome. But I don't need the omnidirectional. I know where my tower is. So I'm going to take this one down, disconnect the cables. Look how easy that is. Compare that to this. These ones are all wrapped in silicone. I've wrapped all mine in silicone to keep them weatherproof. Their SMA cables are so much easier. With those N types, I needed special connectors. Well, I need a special tool. There we go. This is a great antenna. All right, so this one has some great features on it. Let's see, I can adjust all the tilts. All right. Look at that. I like the height adjustment. I was going to put them at the same height, but I do like that it stands a little bit more proud. That is great. Came with a really nice wrench. Adjust this all the way in. Spin these wheels. Now, you'll notice my Allen screw allows it to tilt this way, but I could already do that. So I imagine I could just turn it sideways, mount it that way, and then I get a little bit of pitch with it. That would be neat. Although I do get pitch down here as well on this connector. Here, I'm going to disconnect this, connect it up, see what we get. Now, by switching cables downstairs, I'm going to be able to directly compare this antenna with this antenna. Let's see how easy this is. Antenna 1, antenna 1. And, interesting, over here, they're labeled as well. This says cable 1. Perfect. Now I'm going to be able to control what it looks like downstairs and measure, make it match up with what people have already previously tested as far as the directions. You know, WaveForm has a great guide as to all the different T-Mobile radios and which leads you should hook up to where. So let's see. This is cable 2, 3, number 2. Look how easy this is. I've got cable 4, cable 2. Just twist this on. Just hand tight is fine. Pull this cover over the top. There. Watertight. This one is number 3. Match it up with number 3. I'm going to go downstairs and be able to check the previous version with the new version. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and snug. Weatherproof. Perfect. All the mounts are square, so you can do it either direction. That's the right way to do it. There we go, nice and tight. See you downstairs. All right, well, I wanted to compare the two antennas. This is the original one up on top. Pay no attention to those jumping numbers over there on the signal power because it's not under load. It's not transmitting anything. Once I start transmitting, you'll see it cleans up quite nicely, and we'll talk about those numbers. Let's just go ahead and hit it. All right, so here we go. Let's see. We're going to see first a ping number. Ping. And then it should start cleaning up right about now. There we go. So we're in the 80s. That's really good. And 70s. That is nice too. Signal quality is excellent. And signal to noise ratio, excellent across the board. We're getting bands 41 and 25 right now. And that is 270. That is, I'm going to ping a 40. That is indeed unexpected. I just did 3 tests on it and it was all in the 400s with a 22. So something's going on. Let's try it again. Bing. Let's see what we ping at. And again, you'll see those numbers clean up. I always wondered about that. How come I'm seeing some fluctuating stuff? But when it's under load, it'll clean up nicely. Look at that. So, all right. 300. Good. Interesting. Well, we're going to compare them the same. And over 100. That's nice. This is 5G SA. So standalone 5G. That is 5G signal on top of 5G. That is a 5G N41 as my primary signal. My secondary signal is N25. So that is 2 really good signals together. And it gives me pretty solid performance both down and up. That's the way I've crafted it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is switch these cables and then try it with the new antenna. Let's give it a test. 1 second. Whew. All right, so I replaced the cables, and well, I got to say, this was a good experience, and it's something neat that most people wouldn't notice unless they've hooked up a lot of these, is they gave us more cable length. That is from with a bundle of cables where they separate at the end. Before we had, well, less than a foot. It was like 8 inches. Now we have like 18 inches. And the cable is less rigid. It's much more flexible. Much easier to get these connectors in. Oh, so much nicer. Anyway, all right, I'm going to run that same speed test. We'll be reminded of the scores we were getting. Let's compare them and see what we get. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to click the go button. 300, 128. Okay, and look at that. It's hasn't started yet. All right, I'm going to run a second one because that ping is a little bit high. And sometimes it takes a second for the tower to sync up with you. Wow, look at those power scores. Those are insane. Okay, that's good. And the quality and my signal to noise ratio, all really good. Okay, 74. That's pretty insane. -3. 30. Wow, 29 and 30 on my 5G. They're both 5G. 41 and 25 again. Okay, I'm going to say those scores are pretty similar. Let's click this again, see if we can get a better ping. I mean, that's what you'd expect. It's the same antenna. It's just a different generation with some new features. All right, so the ping is getting a little bit higher. Don't know if that is related to the antenna. I don't think so. It's, look at the scores, 300, pretty consistent. And the scores on the power, the signal quality, and the noise are excellent. And yeah, that's what I was getting before. You'd expect them to be the same. We're getting the same frequencies, the same manufacturer, probably the same design. Just some new mounting hardware, some new cabling that's much appreciated, and the same scores. I'm going to keep clicking this until the cows come home because this is what I do. But 24 ping. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a moment for the network to recognize it better. 24 is what I wanted. Can I keep my 300? Let's see my score. 74, 76. Excellent. -3. Almost 30. 29 and 28. Wow. That's where you need to look. You need to look over there. The bands I'm pulling are N41 and N25. That's 5G SA standalone. My scores fluctuate a lot less now that I'm on 5G SA. And I get a more crafted up speed. It's not just, before I was getting some great scores, 700 down, and some people said, wow, that's amazing, but I was only getting 30 up. So I really wanted to be able to craft that so I can use my server and serve some things like Plex. Anyway, guys, this antenna looks top notch. I like it a lot. A lot of people wanted to see that ground feature on there. It's on there now. And I really like the flexibility of that mount. It can go with a bigger pole, a sturdier pole. You know, when we had some serious winds the last couple of weeks with some storms, well, my old antenna would have bent because it's bent before in the past. But now that I've got a nice big thick pole on there, guess what? The antenna didn't move an inch. It's fantastic. There you go, guys. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Give this a thumbs up because it does help it float to the top. And if you're really crazy, go ahead and click subscribe because then you'll see the next one. And I do have some great stuff coming up. I have a brand new 4x4 modem outside. So 4x4 MIMO antenna with a modem built into it that I'm the first one to get it. So can't wait to test that one out. See you in the next ones, guys. Talk to you soon. Hey, guys, just one more thing. No, it's a different day, and I want to show you why I take a look at this, the power, the quality, and the signal to noise ratio, because it means so much more than the scores you get. The scores you're getting are going to be time of day dependent. This again is a phone network that we're on, and what they're doing for home internet is, well, we're lowering the priority. So of course, whatever's happening on the network is going to affect greatly what we're getting at home. But here, I'm just going to do another test, show you what I'm getting. Because it's a different day, different time of day, all of that. See what kind of ping we're getting now. We'll see these numbers clean up, and these numbers should be exactly what we were getting before. I was just pulling a ping of 20. So now, there we go, the cleanup. We're getting 80s, low 80s, and mid 70s. Quality's all below or above -10. And signal to noise ratio, everything's above 20. In fact, some of them are darn close to 30. There we go. And now we're looking at the up. Highly dependent on the time of day. This is crazy. Those scores are remaining consistent. Let me just show you what I was getting a few moments ago. Take a look at this. This is just a few moments ago. So the reason I'm showing you this, what are you doing here? Let's pull this up. Bing. Okay, what's happening here? No, it's not settings. I want to take a look at the results. Here we go. I was just pulling almost 500, 450, 500. This is all in the last, well, let's see. It's 521, 517, so all in the last couple minutes. I've been all over the place speed-wise. I'm on a phone network in a very populated area, and yeah, things can change. What hasn't changed, those scores. Those scores are very much the same. These scores are very much the same. We were getting everything in the mid-80s or below, everything -10 or above, everything 20, 25 and above. Really good scores. Here, I can hit this again, and you'll see those numbers clean up. As soon as it starts to ping and all of that stuff happens. Here, we'll slide this. There we go. 40 on my ping. I don't know what's going on with the network. It seems to be doing that. Remember, I was just pulling a 500. I haven't changed a darn thing. But look at those scores. Those are exactly the same. So you can't measure speeds and say, well, I'm going to buy an antenna based on the score that I saw somebody pull, because it's changes. I was just pulling 120 repeatedly. What happened? Network happened. That's what happened. The network fluctuates. That is terrible. 30. I feel impoverished. Wow. Well, check out the results I was just getting. Every other score that I got. 120, 120, 120, 120, 120, 120. What is this 30? That is terrible. Look, I even pulled a 20 in here somewhere. There it is. 20, 21, 20. What's going on? Well, it's because it's a phone network. This is the limitation of the phone network, but it is indeed really, really darn good. One more time. 39. All right, that seems consistent for today. Yeah, goodbye. Look at that. Get me to 500. 5. All right, some days you just have to take 480. Oop, I almost got 5. There we go. Look at that. I didn't do anything different. And you aren't doing anything different either. Speed tests are only speed tests. Look at the signal to noise, look at your quality, and look at your power. That's what never changes. That's what you should be looking at when looking at antennas. I often get messages from people that say, I did what you said and look at my score. It's, well, look at your signal. Look at these scores. Now, you see those bursting red every once in a while? That's what it's doing in its downtime. I talked to the guy about the firmware. I'm going, you're making yourself look bad because you get really good scores. And he said, well, put a load on it and watch it clean up. So you can count the load as soon as you see the ping, I suppose. And the scores are pretty good once it locks in. Oh, prove me wrong, but there we go. Mid-80s and high 70s. Everything 10 or above. Everything 25 and above. Wow, those are great scores. And a 460. And do I get my 120 again? Yep, there it is. Pretty consistent for totally inconsistent. So from test to test, but overall it's been fantastic. I've enjoyed playing with this. Hey, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.